Welcome to this segment of On the Go. I'm Phoenix Councilwoman Gallego. This spring, the nation will celebrate Equal Pay Day to raise awareness about the gap between men and women's wages. I was honored to lead a working group that over the past year sought to make Phoenix one of the few cities in the country to have its own Equal Pay Ordinance. Our group also worked to find ways to support women in their careers and expand opportunities in non-traditional jobs. I'm proud to announce that after months of hard work, we crafted several measures, including a proposed Equal Pay Ordinance that the Phoenix City Council will formally consider later this month. Our efforts wouldn't have been possible without input from the community, including the Phoenix Women's Commission. My first guest is chair of that commission, Jodi Liggett. Jodi, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Could you tell us a little bit about your personal history working on women's issues?
Well, sure. One of the reasons I was so honored to be appointed to the Women's Commission was because I do have a long history working in Phoenix and Arizona on issues that are pertinent to women, particularly vulnerable women. I started my career in the state legislature as staff. At that time, we were working on welfare reform, which affected hundreds of thousands of women across the state. Folks on welfare are primarily struggling single mothers, and that really made an impression on me. So I've tried to carry that forward. I did some work for Governor Hall, ran the Arizona Women's Foundation for a while. I was very honored to work for Mayor Stanton on homeless and domestic violence issues. And my day job is directing public policy for Planned Parenthood, so I bring all that to the Women's Commission. I'm really proud to do it.
Well, we are lucky to have you chair that commission. Thank you for your continued service to our community. Can you tell us a little bit about what the Phoenix Women's Commission does?
Well, the Women's Commission is, number one, it's a group of incredible, diverse women who bring a variety of viewpoints and can really advise the council and the mayor on what the issues are in Phoenix, in our neighborhoods, in our community. What are women facing on a day-to-day basis, providing that lens and also providing an avenue of input. Certainly people can come to council meetings, they can meet with their representative, they can meet with the mayor. We also provide a forum for organizations and individuals to elevate issues that are important to Phoenix women and really provide that space for people to cover those issues.
And you have a lot of background in women's issues. I am honored to be the first woman to represent my district, and I wanted to try and make sure we make Phoenix a better city for women, because I honestly believe that when women win, Phoenix will win. I represent a very diverse district, but one where the pay gap is significant, where on average women are not making as much as their male counterparts who are doing the same work. And on general in Arizona, can you give us a little bit of the landscape of?
Sure. You know, as a former CEO of the Arizona Foundation for Women, we publish Status of Women reports, and those reports looked at a number of measures on how women are doing in Arizona and Phoenix, including Phoenix. With women, it's a little more of a mixed bag. Some of your viewers may be familiar with Kids Count, another publication that looks at children and how they're doing in Arizona. Unfortunately, that situation is a little bit grim across the board. We've got big problems in education, child welfare. With women, it's more of a mixed bag. Phoenix, for example, is a great place to start a business if you're a woman. We have one of the highest rates of female entrepreneurs. On many health measures, we have a great healthcare system. Women are doing really well. We have one of the highest rates of women engaged in post-secondary education, so a lot of folks returning to school after a gap. But as you mentioned, we've still got a pay gap in Arizona and Phoenix in particular, and we've got education issues that I think are troubling to a lot of us. We've got, especially when you unpack the data and look at communities of color, they're falling behind, and we know that's true with the pay gap as well. So really a mixed bag, but still some issues that we need to address for women.
The We developed some recommendations that we'll be presenting to the City Council in partnership with the Commission. Thank you for your support. And one of those actually creates more work for the Women's Commission. We're going to be asking you to advise us on partnerships with the nonprofit community and resources that are out there to help women with issues that might help close the pay gap, but also resources for men as well. We want to help people understand salary negotiations and some of those other issues. Are you up for the challenge?
We are. You know, we are a group of doers, so nothing thrills the Commission more than having a job to do, and we're ready to really take it on. We are particularly excited with this cluster of tasks that surround the Equal Pay Ordinance. So, you know, it's one thing to pass an ordinance, pass a law, have a legal requirement in place, but really when the rubber hits the road, what you want is to give people tools that they can use. Because of course, you know, a complaint or litigation under the statute, that would be the last resort. It's important to have that legal backstop and that requirement. But what we really want to do is empower people to negotiate that fair salary in the first place, learn how to do that. It's very complex, and we have some fabulous organizations in town who are really experts at doing this. The YWCA, the Association of University Women in particular, learning that you have to, you know, not accept the first offer. And then these classes go deeper than that, understanding the differences in how women and men communicate and how their communication is received, and just dealing with that reality and learning to navigate around those issues. We're really excited to have a job to do.
One of the leading voices on issues around equal pay is a woman named Lilly Ledbetter. Can you tell us a little bit about Lilly Ledbetter's history?
Sure. Lilly Ledbetter is a personal hero of mine. She was in Arizona advocating for equal pay a number of years ago. Lilly Ledbetter is the woman who brought a legal action against Goodyear Tire and Rubber, went all the way to the Supreme Court. She was a manager and paid less than her male counterparts. She didn't know this for years till someone slipped a note in her locker at work. She brought an action. She went all the way to the Supreme Court and sadly did not prevail, you know, almost on a technicality because too much time had passed. Most folks in Congress and across the country did not agree with that. So a partial remedy came in the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act. That was the first piece of legislation that President Obama signed when he took office, and she's still fighting. Equal pay affects not just the pay that you receive and getting compensated fairly in that paycheck. It affects your retirement, it affects your ability to take care of your children and your parents as they get older. It's a huge issue. So that's Lilly Ledbetter, and she's coming back. We are thrilled. She will come back to celebrate with us as we celebrate the passage, the hopeful passage of the ordinance. She's participating in a fundraising luncheon that will help pay for some of these salary negotiation classes and other activities that we want to do. And she'll just be a great spokesperson for fair pay and for women. We're thrilled to have her.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for the work you're doing on the Women's Commission and to bring Lilly Ledbetter back to Phoenix. It's great news for all of us. It's also important that people understand in these lean budget times that we'll be doing these programs without spending additional city funds. And it's wonderful that Lilly Ledbetter is going to help us raise money to provide that needed training to women and men in our community. This has been a great community partnership, and I want to thank you for your leadership.
Thank you. We're thrilled, and I know you want to help me give a shout out to the Association of University Women, who are largely responsible for bringing Lilly out along with our community partners. We just thank them so much.
Absolutely. The Association of University Women has been with us throughout this process, particularly providing some of the technical information we needed about the equal pay issue, the origins of the pay gap, and some of the solutions. There certainly are things that women should and could be doing, and we're going to continue to be spreading the word. Thank you so much. Please stay with us. When we come back, we'll hear from someone who's been a leading voice in Phoenix for women and who's been with us throughout the process of developing the Equal Pay Ordinance.
Please have a seat. I'll be honest. Your resume, not what I'm used to.
I know.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need a hard worker.
Good. I've got 2 part-time jobs and to help my parents pay the bills.
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find, cultivate, and train a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Welcome back to On the Go. Dana Campbell Saylor is a leading advocate for women in Phoenix. When Mayor Stanton challenged us to look at our equal pay laws, she was there, instrumental in developing our new Equal Pay Ordinance. Dana, welcome to the show.
Thank you for asking me.
Can you tell us a little bit about your history advocating on behalf of women?
Absolutely. I had great role models. I had my grandmother, who lived to 104, and my mother, and so it basically came naturally. And then my discipline, my degree from college is women's studies and social justice, so it fit quite well.
Wonderful. Well, we were lucky to have you as we develop this ordinance and take advantage of your expertise. We had a group of advocates,
Yes.
professionals, attorneys
Yes.
from both the city, the nonprofits.
Yes. And I have to compliment the city, the young women that have gathered around your table on this task force. They've been phenomenal, and I think the work is wonderful. And I have a feeling that other cities will follow suit very quickly.
I hope so. We were glad when Mayor Stanton challenged us to address this issue, and I hope we've met the challenge that he set out before us.
I think we have. I think he'll be proud. I really do.
The city does hundreds of millions of dollars of
Yes,
business,
yes.
and so
And you know, that was the challenge with the task force, is that we really wanted to be fair, that we wanted to look at people that already had contracts with the city, that that the procurement process, if you will, is fair, and how to handle that as we go into pay equity for all. And so I think this is a very, very good, it's a very positive initiative that I think everyone will be comfortable as we go through every single line and make sure that it's fair for all, and those that need to change their ways, if they don't have pay equity, that there will be a process of which they can achieve that.
absolutely. So now, if this council decides to pass this, every contract at the City of Phoenix with our vendors will
Yes.
now have
Yes,
a solid paragraph talking about the city's value of equal pay.
that's right. That's right. And I think we might be, I don't want to misquote, but I do think that we might be the first in the nation. And I thank Mayor Stanton for that, and you as well. You know, you being the first woman in your district to serve is phenomenal. You represent the millennial generation, and I believe hopefully we're paying it forward, so to speak, and you're stepping up to take the lead on this. We have a mayor that supports this initiative, and I think other cities is going to find it remarkable, and we're paving the way, you might say.
Well, I think that when women get this little economic edge, it really will help our city move forward, and that strengthening that economy.
It will help the economy. It helps families. I have 2 sons. They want their spouses, their partners, their wives to equally, they don't care actually if their wives out-earn them actually, but it is something that really affects the family. It really affects long-term planning. It affects your Social Security when you retire. It affects your health. And all of that is a win-win when the family has economic parity.
And there are a lot of resources in the nonprofit community to help us close the equal pay gap.
Absolutely. I think, again, we have a common voice. We have a megaphone coming together, I think not only in our state but nationally. We have, again, AAUW, they've done phenomenal work. We have the YWCA. We have Take the Lead. We have Sheryl Sandberg's new group, To Lean In. I think the momentum, and again, we have the Oscars. Patricia Arquette, and we have Meryl Streep out there voicing that they want the same thing for their daughters. And so I think it's just great.
Equal pay is very much in the news these days.
It is. It's that megaphone.
One of the organizations you mentioned was Take the Lead. Can you tell us a little bit more?
Absolutely. It was established by Gloria Felt, and one of the economic reports came out and said that we would not have parity, economic parity, until 2095. And she said, oh, that's a long, long time. And so the hashtag became hashtag 25, not 95. So, and you can also check it out on the website. And again, it's right in collaboration with all of our Wonder sister organizations to within 25 years, you as a millennial will hopefully benefit from this work.
I certainly hope so. I'm the youngest member of the City Council, but I don't expect to be around in 2095.
Darling, you never know.
Or I don't have the patience. Why wait till 2095?
Well, you're going to bigger and better places.
Who knows what the future holds, but hopefully we will all be moving forward together, and that this work will set a good foundation for us to continue to improve the economic lives of everyone in Phoenix.
Yes, thank you.
We started out really looking at equal pay, but we got a little bit broader than that,
Yes.
and began looking at women in non-traditional careers at the city.
That's right. Also, that will be a door that's opened much wider. Contracts will be offered to women-owned businesses. I think backup support will be offered. I think this is an opportunity to expand women in business. The state of Arizona has always been more progressive in that way, that we do support women in business. That, as you know, that Arizona is a better place than many states to support women or for women to start businesses. This will give us, again, a boost up in the economy with women-owned businesses.
We are lucky to have so many leading women-owned businesses and to have a smaller pay gap than many other states.
That's true. That's true. I think the national average is 72 cents to the dollar, and in Arizona it's approximately 86. And though that's better, it's not where it should be.
Hopefully we can lead the way in closing that gap.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for your leadership in this area and for being part of our task force. The work is just beginning. We've recommended a lot of partnerships and education going forward.
Yes.
And hopefully we can be singing the praises of companies and nonprofits that do a great job with an equal pay policy.
Yes, and actually those that are actually moving into the state, I think that's another lens that we'll be able to look at is, do they offer pay equity? When they make their investment in the state or in the city of Phoenix, what is their pay equity policy? And I think this will be the microscope that's being developed to look at that as well.
It is certainly a value of mine and of our mayors, and hopefully it will be a value that will help the community thrive even more. We've said it before, and it's worth saying again, when women win, Phoenix will win.
Absolutely. The families win as well.
Our task force discussed what women can do to help close the gaps, and you offered some great career advice that you've learned through your studies of this issue. Would you mind sharing that with our viewers?
Absolutely, I'd be happy to. Sheryl Sandberg, COO of Facebook, once said that we use the term trying to get through the glass ceiling. And she learned in her career so far that sometimes life is more like a jungle gym and you have to go sideways to go up. And I think that's what I would certainly pass on to your generation, the millennials, is that we know statistically that young men, 60% of young men, if they're offered a position, a new position, they will absolutely go for it. Women will step back and say, am I qualified? Do I have all of the qualifications for this opportunity? And often they will step back instead of step in. And that's a lot of the advice I would give to to young women is just go for it, because you will figure it out. You will be successful, but definitely go ahead and take that step, because that's part of the learning process. Don't let it inhibit your career.
That is powerful advice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's all the time we have for this episode of On the Go. If you have any questions or comments about our show, please call my office at 602-262-7493 or visit my website at phoenix.gov/District 8. We'll see you next time on the Go.